Ha ke hola ke hotse lapeng le leng o ne le tlhompheha. Ne le family e senang abuse. Ke ile ka kopana le monna ko Thembisa abuti ra ratana wa ba hantle, and then when they paid lobola it was 1981, and then 84 we got married. Everything was fine, and then things changed. Monna,
Just everything was fine for how long?
everything was fine about plus minus 6 years.
So the first 6 years of your marriage were wonderful.
It was wonderful, everything was fine.
If everything was fine for such a long time, what made it change?
Monna ka hula kopana le di friends. The friends le tsa mo influence. He started to drink. He was not drinking when we got married. And then he became a drunkard. And then what happened? I was staying with my in-laws. Everything was fine that time. And then from there, I said, it's better to get out, to have a place that we can stay. We rented a room. And then there is the time Atoma change. Abano, eba monolo ngobana ha silent atoki motsebang. Atoma hunwa, and then ke batla bua hanyane, and then from there ha Atoma unwa, yaba motho a leng violent. And then I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, the time he arrived at home, I know that it's gonna be a war. He started to shout, doing everything he wants about me. And then he wanted to beat me. What I did, I said, it's better to get outside. Kile ka kwa ntle, mo ne ke rentile ko teng, ka jump a fence while I was pregnant. I lost the baby. I went to the hospital. How I lost the baby? And then when I arrived there, they said, no, we cannot go to the operation. It's better to give a birth with a forceps. And then they say it's a quick method. They say it's better you're going to die or the baby's gonna be survive. And then hake faki ekebela ngwana nale asa akhatetse bane ne phela ke bethiwa ntse ke le pregnant. And it was during the night when I jumped the fence, and then I lost the baby.
How long did this abuse carry on?
Everything is fine. I've changed, I cannot do this, I'm fine, it's okay. Okay, when Elena was at Good Friday and Christmas, it was a bad day for me. I know that when he arrived home, he's gonna do something bad for me. From there, we bought a house there in Thembisa, and then where things about worse, more than anything else. He went to the shooting training, he got the gun, and then I said, why you have the gun? He said, no, that is my gun, don't worry about it. Because now Atoma Arexa the drugs. I was involved with the Indians guys. Now I said, my husband is changed. I said, my God, now he's an animal, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then the day that was bad, very bad, it was the day that when he arrived at home. And then what he did, he locked the gate, he came to the house, he said, why are you so sad? Why are you so quiet? I said, there's nothing that I can say. He was so drunk, he was so something, I don't know what to say. And then he started to shout at me, I went out. When I went out, I just wanted to go outside, but the gate was locked. And the fence was so high, you cannot go inside. And then I said, my God, what I'm gonna do? Where everyone was watching, I was screaming, beating me, kicking me with the boots. I say, please don't do this to me. I was begging, please don't do this to me. He kicked me, he broke me. And Robert, I was bleeding through inside my ear. I was begging him. It was not, but everyone was watching. No one can come inside because the fence was so high. He did whatever he wants. This is the way I suffered a lot.
I'm sure that you share my sentiments when I ask her this question. If he was doing all these things to you, why didn't you leave?
I wanted to leave him. He was threatening that if you leave me, I'm gonna shoot you. And he really was going to shoot me. Because I was always nervous. If it's the time that he's gonna come back at home. The children, they were there. As I sleep there, I locked them in their room. I will stay there in the dark room to wait for him. And then what he did, he cannot open the gate. I have to wake up 1 o'clock in the morning to open the gate for me. If I arrived there late, he said, why you are so late? You're supposed to come here quick to open the gate for me. And then when he arrived, I'm gonna be beaten than anything else. The blue eyes, swollen the face, but there was nothing that I can do. My family, they didn't know about this. It was my secret. I said, no one is gonna know about this. The people knew when the time he was doing all these things outside. Now it was a public thing. I was always nervous, shivering, having the diarrhea everywhere. The life was not good for me.
You said you would lock the children in the room to protect them. How were they relating to him if he was so violent at home?
They started to hate him. Than anything else. They never loved him. There was no peace, there was no smile, there was no laughing at my house.
Maybe as she speaks, this is what has been happening to you. Maybe this is your secret. This is why the Women in Action decided to call this convention for women and to invite the men to come along, because together we can form a safer South Africa. Together we can be the solution to stop abuse. Now I want to ask you, your testimony, I'm sure, has touched the hearts of many. Are you still a victim of abuse?
No. Now everything is fine. Everything is fine. We are together now. We are going to make 26 years together.
I believe those who are here who would like to get the way out that she had are wondering what it is she did for things to be fine and for her to say it with a big smile on her face. What did you do to change?
Someone invited me to the church. I came to the church. Before that, I even told myself that I hate the day I was born. I hate the day I was married. So someone invited me, said, no, you have to come to the church. I said, don't tell me about God. Because if there was, God is alive, he's supposed to save me while my husband was doing everything he wants. Don't tell me anything about the church. But something said, go, you will see. So maybe it's gonna change. And my question was, how can I change this man? Because he's my husband, I love him so much. He is my husband. When I got married, I was so young. So I got the church in Alexandra. It was 1994. I went there, I prayed for him. And then the pastor was telling me, you have to forgive your husband. I said, how can I forgive this man who did this to me? This pastor doesn't know what he's saying, because it's not easy. But he said, you have to forgive him if you want him to change. Really, it was not easy for me, but I did it through the pastor's counseling chain of prayer, and then he came to the church.
Beautiful story, a real life story. Are the children still afraid of their father? Do they still hate him?
You know, the thing that's surprising me now, the children, they love their father more than me. As if I'm the one who started the abuse, and then they love their father more than myself. I don't know really.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of God. It worked for her, it will work for you, and for you, and for you, and for you. Now, maybe some of you, I know there are always those skeptical ones that don't believe anything. So I'm going to invite Mr. William Mabunda, the husband of Mrs. Mabunda, to come join us here. Welcome, Mr. Mabunda. Now, this is the husband of Mrs. Mabunda. And he is going to tell you a little bit about what happened. And after that, he has a message for every single man in the room today. Mr. Mabunda.
I greet everyone in the house, and I would like to be short because this is the day of women. That you see what my wife has just mentioned here, it has happened in that way exactly. But since you know that we come from different families, I was born where my father will used to say, I should not be led by ladies, by women. Ka Sotho ba re, "O ske wa dumella mosadi a etsa jwang, a hula ka nko." So yes, so that thing e dutse ho nna ke hula ke na le yona, ha ke batle ho hulwa ka nko. So that's why ne ke etsa tsohle tsena hore ho be le a gap e itseng, that the wife should be there, should take its stand. In that way, ne ke sa bone hore I destroy my family on the other hand. Because now really my children, they begin to fear me, they begin to stay away from me, and they were just growing up. The family, they never knew. But the next door neighbor, they knew. One day they make a caucus that they should beat me, the men around. Yes. I came, they set a time with her. They set a time that when I come in and I start beating her, they will come. I don't know what happens. That day, I never committed violence. I just came in and I slept. So, for this reason, drinking, I started drinking when I was very small, 7 years. My father, yes, my father used to give me uchwala as I have the name of his father, my grandfather. So the grandfather used to puzagakul. Now, because of this name that I'm given, I have also to follow the same way. I was drinking uchwala basalwana in timetable. Early in the morning, he will give me the cup. During the midday, he will give me the cup. In the evening, I will have a cup also. So it was a timetable. But when I grew up, I didn't use that timetable again. I just went straight forward and drink and mess up, and I was non-controllable. Himself, when he was alive, he complained again about this drinking. But he was the one that taught me. For this reason, Basalwan, as she said, she came to the church. Indeed, I came also to the church, and from that day, I stopped everything. And today, I'm a man of God, the pastor in the church. So my advice to the men in the house is that let us cut short, let us break, let us fight this abuse against the women and children. Recently we have the woman that was killed together with the children. And who have done that? It's the man. It's so sad that we mistreat the women as if they're not part and parcel of our life. For this reason, men in the house, let us change the way we look at the women. Let us respect them. Let us love them as according to the Bible. I'm not preaching, I'm just highlighting that according to the Bible it says the women are created by one of our ribs. And who can in life beat himself? We cannot beat ourselves. We love ourselves. For this reason, let's have a new eye to look to any woman. Can be your wife, can be the next door, can be the sister. Let us have a good eye to look upon them. And love your wife, love your children. Give them a good example of treating your wife in a good way. Because what I was doing, I have a boy. If I continue to do that, he is also going to do the same to the other person. I have girls here, which soon they'll be married. One is already married. I will not feel good if I hear that the husband is beating my daughter. my friend, everything will rise up, will rise. Because, yes or no? Will rise. Because I don't accept my daughter to be beaten by someone. In that case, we the men in the house, let us break up. Let us fight this dragon, this enemy, abuse. Let us fight it by being example. By being example. This is my weight. I just advise the men in the house. It's not our day, but we are included by the mercy of God. So let us take this advice. Love your wife. Take care of your children. Lead them to the right way. Let the abuse stop from now within us. Thank you.
Mr. Mabunda, so you love your wife, right? Give her a kiss.